Hi, good day. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be talking about my chosen algae, Kappaphycus alvarezii, or most commonly known as the elkhorn sea moss. Before we get to the exciting part, let me first introduce to you Kappaphycus alvarezii and let me start with its hierarchical classification. As we can see, the genus Kappaphycus falls under the phylum Rhodophyta, which is also known as the red algae group, class Floridiophysii, order Gigartinalis. This order's species can be found in the Arctic to tropical marine waters, from the high intertidal to the subtidal zones. They also produce a variety of cell wall polysaccharides that are majorly carrageenan or carrageenan-like. Kappaphycus alvarezii is from the family Solariaceae, which, according to Hernandez and colleagues, is a very diverse family of red algae. Here we have a Bayesian phylogenetic tree of the species of Kappaphycus. This tree shows that a monophyletic clade exists between the collected fragment samples of Kappaphycus alvarezii that came from different locations, including Vietnam, Brazil, the Philippines, Venezuela, Hawaii, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Costa Rica. The strains from Malaysia, Hawaii, and the Philippines were clustered together in a sister clade, while those from Madagascar and Tanzania were put together in a basal clade. The presence of the highlighted Kappaphycus alvarezii from Costa Rica indicates that the collected sample has little variance from specimens from Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Brazil, and Venezuela. As I mentioned, Kappaphycus alvarezii belongs to the phylum Rhodophyta, or the group of red algae. This species in nature has generally two colors, brown and green. For its features, it has round thallus that are cylindrical and flattened, with a smooth surface and spines that range in length from 1 to 17 millimeters. Also, the thallus is gelatinous or soft cartilaginous. And for its habitat, it is commonly found in the sublittoral zone in the area of coral reef flats. As for the distribution of Kappaphycus, according to reports from AlgaeBase, there are records of these species from the Philippines, Malaysia, Cuba, China, Vietnam, Micronesia, Fiji, Hawaii, and Tahiti. However, many of these areas are the consequence of aquaculture introductions rather than being part of the native distribution. Here we can see the four basic parts of the species Kappaphycus alvarezii, namely the main thallus, the branches, the primary and secondary internode. Letter A here corresponds to the main thallus. B, C, and D are the branches, B the first branch, C second branch, and D third branch. E is the primary internode, which is located at the main thallus, while the secondary internode letter F is in the internode found in the branches. So in the actual photo, this is the main thallus, the branches, the primary internode, and the secondary internode. Another thing that I found interesting about Kappaphycus is its life cycle. It is my first time encountering a triphasic type of life cycle, and apparently this exists in the species of red algae. As shown in the photo, there are three different life stages: the tetrasporophyte, carporos, carposporophyte, and gametophyte phases. The cycle starts with the fertilization of the trichogyne, which is the terminal part of the female thallus, by the gametes, which will form diploid carposporophyte, which also produces diploid carpospores. Tetrasporophytes are produced by repeated mitotic divisions in the carpospores, and haploid tetraspores are formed by successive meiotic divisions within tetrasporangia. To complete the life cycle, dispersed tetraspores develop into gametophytes. Let's go now to the economic value of the Kappaphycus alvarezii. So the red macroalgae or seaweed Kappaphycus alvarezii has a great economic importance. This macroalgae produces kappa carrageenan, which can be used as a raw material for carrageenan extraction in industries such as food, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and other industrial applications. Kappaphycus exports account for 80% of all seaweed exports in the Philippines. It is also one of the country's top three marine-based exports. Although Kappaphycus can be eaten, it is mostly employed as a source of carrageenan, an emulsifier, binder, gelling, and thickening agent in both food and non-food items. One of the algae species discovered to be high in nutrients and nutraceuticals is edible red seaweed Kappaphycus alvarezii. Hence, through its anti-proliferative characteristics, alvarezii may be able to suppress cancer. In addition to the aforementioned function of carrageenan, it can also operate as a dietary fiber, helping to clear the digestive system, protect the stomach surface membrane, and protect the intestine from harmful carcinogens. It also has antiviral efficacy against envelope viruses such as HIV, HSV, and HCMV. Kappaphycus alvarezii is also reported as having anti-tumor properties. In fact, in the study of Chang and colleagues, they found out that Kappaphycus alvarezii extract might be able to slow down tumor growth. And lastly, Kappaphycus alvarezii provide habitat for a diverse invertebrate population and reef fishes. That's all. Thank you for listening.